Okay. Welcome to the SpeakTV virtual meeting. The entire club has been invited, including the coaches. And let's just do a quick roll call. David Kokel, the moderator, is on. Who else is with us?
Gail Russ.
Alan Edge.
Jillian Sunder.
Excellent. Anyone else so far? Okay. And I don't think so, so that's cool, and we're going to continue to proceed. On the agenda, the first item is that I am going to be unable to make the August meeting. I have a conflict with work. There are several people that have keys. Alan is one, Kathy Shine has one, and we'll try to make sure that that the room is set up and that there's a minimal amount for them to do. But I will not be here for the August meeting.
Okay.
Elena, as Vice President of Education, is next in line, although I'm suggesting that it might be good for her to share that with Gail.
That's fine.
So there's that. Also, that at the next meeting, we either need to have a speech contest or we have to nominate one or two contestants for both the humor speaking and or tall tales.
So we have to do them both on the August 6th or August, what meeting is that? August?
It's the August meeting, and it is the only meeting that we have that does not fall past the deadline for when they want the meetings done.
All right, so we have to do tall tales and humorous speech contest.
And we have to make a choice. We have three choices. Number one, to do nothing and send no one. Number two, we can nominate not one, but two contestants per contest. Or number three, we can have a contest and get our two contestants that way.
I personally would suggest that we just nominate two contestants.
Yeah, I don't think our club is big enough to send two people for each contest.
But that's the beauty of being a smaller club in a smaller area, and it's because there's 4 clubs in our area that allows us to have this.
Right.
Is there anyone on the call that is interested in representing our club?
And for the contest, what?
I'm sorry, Gail?
I second you, Alan.
The date for the contest is when?
It would be the third Saturday in August, which would be August 15th.
But then the final contest is when?
It's going to be at the district conference, which is going to be in Milwaukee this year, the first weekend of November.
The Crown Plaza Hotel.
Nice. All right.
So August 15th is when we meet, and we need to have someone by September 19th for the contest?
Yes. I don't know what the deadline is. I know that the S4 area contest is going to take place on Friday night, September 25th.
Yeah, I'll be out of town for that whole thing, so I can't compete, I don't think.
Okay. Do you have an opinion?
I think we need to send someone, and I would think one from the humorous speech contest and one tall tale.
Okay. I'm fine with sending one or two, as many people that want to compete.
Yeah, I
agree. Opinion.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I agree. If we have two people who want to do it in each one, why not? Right?
Well, yeah,
right.
That's true.
I think it would be placing a burden on us to have to run a speech contest with no notice, and it's a little more difficult for us because we only meet once a month.
So what are you saying?
My preference, and it looks like the majority of people on this call would agree that that we will probably just have the club nominate 2 representatives rather than having a speech contest.
Even without hearing their speeches?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it works when you nominate somebody.
Because it's going to be happening on the meeting on August 15th. That was just personally, I just think Alan has already now mentioned he'll do it. So I think we should just look for at least another 1 or 2 people, and just put the call out, see if anyone wants to do it. Right?
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good idea. Put a call out for it.
Sure. And the idea is that at this point in time, because if we have to have a contest, then we have to have a contest masters, and then we got to train people as judges, and there's a lot to that. And I agree, it's great leadership training, and it could be something for someone's project. But with the short notice that we've gotten from the district, because we really don't have another chance to do this. We had our first meeting of the year last month, and all of a sudden we have this. I'm thinking that we would be better off to just send 2 contestants or 1 contestant.
That sounds fine.
Rather than spending a lot of time doing a speech contest.
Okay.
So that's my thought with that. And so if I had to call for a vote, all those in favor of having a speech contest, say aye.
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 All opposed?
No.
We don't have a quorum, but
yeah. Well, what we do though is we have an idea of us. So there's that. Yeah. Item 2 is that item 3 rather is that we were talking about doing a name change because SpeakTV does not necessarily reflect what we do or where we are. I think it's important that we get every member who's interested to weigh in on what that is and what it would be. And are we meeting our members' needs? And if so, what needs are we meeting? So I would like to go a little bit deeper into that. I don't have a problem renaming the club, but I would like to get a consensus to make sure that we're all about the same thing.
Well, Jillian and I had a chance to talk on Saturday about that, and we're in consensus that the name has to be added to or changed.
Okay, share your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not really sure if I personally agree that the club needs to reflect a name that reflects more of the different things that we do. I like the idea of putting some, not quickly choosing a name, but personally getting impetus from other members to see it. I personally would like to see social media as part of the name, and I know Gail has some different thoughts on that as well, but I think we're both in consensus that SpeakTV doesn't reflect all what the club should and does do.
Right, and my feeling is simply throwing out a name, and I've been kind of using it with my letters to new members saying we're a multimedia masters, SpeakTV multimedia masters. And that's what I'm putting out there as a slogan for nomination. I don't know if you want to, Jillian, you're saying SpeakTV. Can you give us a title that would work, or?
It's amazing.
You're putting me on the spot. I haven't really come up with a title. I'm just saying that I think we do need to have a name change, and I like this idea of getting not quickly making the name, but really getting a consensus and maybe doing one meeting where we take a meeting part and doing like a little bit of a brainstorming session where we can just throw out different names, announce this is what we're going to do, and then have a vote, something like that. And then once the name is changed, my feeling would be we would have a great opportunity to do some PR in the area and see if we can get any free publicity about our name change and what we plan on doing and what our club is about.
Well, it's amazing that Gail had said what she said. I was just thinking Media Masters.
Multimedia Masters.
You know what, Gail? I love that. Because it says a lot without defining it too much.
Right.
And I think that social media is a media to be mastered. I know audio is a media to be mastered. Internet is a media to be mastered. So without defining it, it allows different ways. So I like the way that sounds and the way that's headed.
Yeah.
Does that
right under SpeakTV, Multimedia Masters. And I think that it includes social media, like you say, internet media, video media, rather than zeroing in on just the social media. But that's just my opinion.
I sorry.
Go ahead, Jillian. Did we lose Jillian?
Oh, they might have lost everybody.
Hello?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe, are you still here, Jillian?
Yeah, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
Oh. Well,
What
I
were you
didn't
gonna
mean to
say,
mute
Jillian?
you.
No.
She pressed the wrong button.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's food for thought, and I think it's something that we need to continue to have a dialogue on. Therefore, we'll add it to old business at the next business meeting.
Okay. Sounds good.
But I'm glad we started the dialogue. Is there anything else we need to add to that?
I think so.
All right, moving right along. Next item on our agenda is the dues. I've got $35, but after talking with Gail and doing the math, if we round it up to $36 semi-annually, it turns into $6 a month. And that way it makes the math easy. If there's any somebody joins in between the two dues, they just add $6 for each of the months until the next one comes around. I think it makes it easier. It's also going to give the club some a nice cash infusion.
Yeah, I would say for $71, that's or $72, that's a nice cash infusion. Or $36 of that would be ours, right?
Right, 36 per person per year. But if you think about it, it's going to also, we're going to need to get some equipment for the club. It would be nice, like if both Alan and Gail, the next time that you guys do something with Love of Laughter, if there was some equipment that you could take with you so you could video all that stuff, or if you wanted to shoot the Love of Laughter meetings, I would like for there to be equipment for that to happen. So that would be something that we would be doing with the dues.
I think it probably would be a good idea to put together a wish list, David, of video equipment that you want to invest in, and then we can take a vote on that. I think for new members, they need to see where their money is going. This is at $72. That's a much higher expense than most clubs.
Yes.
So they need to see where we're going to be investing their money to make them a better speaker, either it be in equipment or whatever. But
my personal feeling, Gail, is I would rather have it even much higher, maybe closer to $100, but then actually furnish members with equipment so that you have a camera and you end up having a microphone and doing some other things.
Well, that's a possibility too, but that You can't buy a whole lot with $30, can you? Or
No, and so if I had my way, I'd want the dues to be higher. No, that would absolutely exclude some people.
yeah.
And I know that, but I don't know that SpeakTV is for everyone anyway.
Mm.
So but I do want to make it accessible.
Let's start with the 36, and we can revisit it at a later date. Once you get that wish list put together, and then we can see what we can do for each member. Maybe a tripod with their membership or something like that might work. That might make it exciting for them.
Do I understand correctly that every member that you would give each member like a camera? Is that what you're saying in your perfect world, or?
Well, in a perfect world with it well funded, that's exactly what I'm saying. Or to give them tools to have a wireless microphone that they could maybe use with their smart camera or iPad or something, so that they could make decent video. It doesn't have to be expensive, but I would like everyone to be self-sufficient and that they can do the stuff that they want to do. And maybe every member is a little different, so their needs may be different.
Are you saying like a library, a rental library that we could use, or are you suggesting that you join SpeakTV and we give you a piece of equipment? I'm a little confused.
Yeah, well, in an ideal world, yes, I think everyone should have their own equipment. I don't think rental equipment is the way to go, because then nobody's responsible, and then when it breaks, then it's not used or can't be used. But if you have your own piece of equipment, you're more likely to take better care of it, and you're actually more likely to use it because it's available.
I mean, I just personally feel like $36 for every 6 months is really darn reasonable for a professional organization. So.
Oh, I think so. And compared with the education that you're going to get along with it, it's a bargain.
Yeah, $6 a month.
I think we all. I don't think Wendy told me that nobody has paid their dues for SpeakTV.
Well, that's not true, because I remember writing a check.
Well, we may have paid the dues to National, but I don't think we've collected any club dues.
No,
so
we collected.
If you paid $36, every dollar of that went to the national organization.
But is it 36? I thought it was $36 every 6 months. I mean,
it
I wrote
is.
A check.
That goes to the national.
And then
right.
We paid another 30, so it's $72 every 6 months.
That would be correct.
Well, I think then that's not clear. Then it's
we're going to adopt that at our next business meeting.
I think because $36 every 6 months is completely different than $72 every 6 months.
Would it make a difference for your membership, Jillian?
No, it's not going to make a difference to mine, but it's not clear. I don't think people care. They need to know, what do I need to pay every 6 months?
Right.
They don't care how the money is split, because when I first joined the club, it was like, it's $36 or whatever it was. It wasn't like, when I paid my dues a few months ago, it wasn't like, you've only paid half of your dues, you still owe another half. That's not clear.
Right. Well, we're not going to, and we cannot ask for dues not paid. So whatever we adopt at the next business meeting will be dues going forward.
Okay, all I'm suggesting is you tell people flat out, this is the amount due every 6 months.
Right.
And that's including both national and local dues.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it has been unclear, and it needs to be cleared up.
Yeah, it's very unclear. Okay.
Well, that's our job for the next meeting, to make the dues clear. And then, of course, if they're new, then they have to pay another $20 for their magazine subscription. So it's going to be $92.
That's only for people who are not a member of another club. The dual membership would waive that.
Right. Just want to be clear.
Yeah.
I think that's going to keep a lot of new members from joining, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. Well, but the other thing, Jillian, is because we're a specialty club, it will take, some members will have to mentor the new members and bring them up to speed. For the most part, our club is made up of experienced speakers.
Well, here's the deal about it, is that if people understand what the payoff is in the club, then it'll make sense. Of course, it wouldn't make sense to pay $72 to go to a regular Toastmasters meeting as they understand a Toastmasters meeting to be. But if, just as any other meeting, when people come to a Toastmasters meeting, we say, okay, with Toastmasters, you're going to get this, and this, and this, and this every 6 months, whoever it is, specialty club or regular. So, if, a visitor comes and we say, hey, glad you're here. With Toastmasters, you're going to get your own camera and tripod, and also we talked about, that's something else it's not on the agenda, I don't think. That's something else we need to talk about is, I call it a statement of truth, but whatever label we give it, so that as a person joins, they read this document that says, we expect you as a member of Meet a Masters or whatever to do X, Y, and Z. You have a camera, you have to upload your speeches, blah, 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 blah. So they know everything that's expected. And for this, $72. 36 here, 36 there. And those that want to take advantage of those things that we list as benefits will join. And those who don't, won't.
I need to get a list of those benefits so I can share those with new members. So if you could put that together for me, Alan, I'd appreciate it, and then you can either email it or...
Well, I think that's what we're trying to decide right now. Specifically, that's what the whole, I assume that's what our executive meeting was about, is to get certain things established and then go forth and bring it to the body.
Can I ask, what are our current dues? That's never been clear to me. I've been a member since January. What are our current dues?
Well, there's nothing on record as having any dues that go to the club. We've only been collecting $36, all of which goes to the national organization.
Well, that's not correct. Only to this last period, because when I got I paid $44. So I don't know what happened to that.
But there's nothing in our charter online.
Oh,
it's never been officially entered into the record. So when you go into,
it may not have been officially, but physical money did go, and we paid. It was 40. I know it was 45 for SpeakTV and 44 for Love Lab. 36 went here. $8 went to. And so it was like $8.
I think that's about right. And
right,
handled all that money. Handled that money.
$8 for SpeakTV and $7 for Love
Laughter.
And only this one time, because I got ready to pay my dues this April, and they said, well, we're not doing it right now because we need to decide on a new dues structure, and that's why I didn't collect anything for this 6 months, because we're going to decide what our new dues are going to be for the club.
That sounds right to me, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's costing $40 a meeting for us to have our space.
Well, can I ask where the $40 is from or goes to?
Yeah, it goes to me. It goes to me to
space.
host the space and provide the event and the internet access, and the drinks and the space. Space is
yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I know nothing in life is free. But it is suddenly, it's like doubling for people who, it's like suddenly saying to people, we're doubling everything that you're getting, So for what I understand then, that up to this point, we've never collected local dues. The dues that we collected went to national, which is $36, correct? And then And
Twice
now
a
we
year.
want. Yeah. Okay. So.
Now we're going to double that.
And now we're going to for a lot of people, we're just saying, by the way, we're doubling it. And for other new members, I'm just saying new members, to get new members in the club going, you have to have, like, by the way, it's going to be close to $100 to join our club. I'm just a little concerned about, because I think we want to bring more members in. I'm just a little concerned about that.
All right. Well, let me address that, because we were at the last meeting, we talked about that. I think our impetus is not to get new members. Our impetus is to get dual members. I don't think as an organization we are in a good place to help new people start their speaking careers. But we're in a great place to have speakers who have some experience who either are thinking about going pro or want to work more with the media. And there is an ante to play in that poker game. And I think $36 is wildly cheap compared to what I've paid to get education and training in this area myself.
No, I agree with you. Now that you explain that to me, that makes sense. So as long as we're going after dual members, that totally makes sense to me.
Oh, we're looking for people who maybe speak in their jobs for a living. Maybe they're not Toastmasters, so maybe they are new, but they aren't new to speaking. You know, if somebody wants to join us because we're a Toastmasters club and needs a lot of coaching, we may not be a good fit for them because we're a specialty club.
No, I agree. Okay, it's just like for me, it would just, let's make it sure it's very clear for people. And
what would make it clear is to have all of this stuff in writing instead of I thought you thought, but I thought you said, but didn't you say? And I thought you thought.
Yeah.
You know, it's been verbal. We've had conversations, and we kicked the ball down the road, and so it has to be written down in a document so that all the members have it, and then it becomes a regular mantra at our meetings, at the top of every meeting, just like we do with Love of Laughter. They do a regular mantra. This is Love of Laughter. We write, evaluate, and perform humor. That's it. So if someone says, I don't want to do humor, they know right away this is not the club for them. So we say the mantra at the top of every meeting. This is what we do at Love of Laughter. This is what we do at Love of Laughter. This is what every speech you have should have humor in it. So if you want to do something that's deep and serious, wrong club. And so same thing to SpeakTV. We need to say this is what we do at SpeakTV. This is what's expected of every member to produce at SpeakTV. These are the tools you'll get with it, blah, 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 blah. You need to have this amount of proficiency as a speaker. You know, so you may want to go to another club, if, you know, because we're going to be dealing with some other things. And then at the end of the meeting, the guest will say yes or no. That's it.
Yeah.
I second that, Alan. I think that's a great idea.
It needs to be in writing, that's all. And that's what we're meeting for now, is to decide what will be in writing.
Check it back to that. Yeah, that's a great idea. And I think when we have it in writing and we create like a benefits of the club, then and then we break it down to it's $6 a month plus the national dues, and this is your total. That makes it a lot easier for people to understand.
Sure.
Right now on our webpage, it says the mission of SpeakTV Toastmasters is to promote the creation, evaluation, and distribution of visual media for effective communication. And that is our current mission. I think based on when we were talking about the name change, is that maybe our mission is altered as well. But I think with both what Alan and Gail said about saying that outright and that this is what we're about, this is our mission, similarly that Love of Laughter does theirs, so that there is no mistaking it.
Right. So we can discuss this at the next meeting and a consensus at the next meeting.
I don't know that we'll do that by the next meeting, but I think we're going to have 4 new members, so that we'll get some ideas from new people, get some ideas from experienced people. I don't know that we'll necessarily take it to a vote, but if there is a quorum, it could happen.
Well, I'd be willing to, because Dave won't be here at the next meeting, I'd be willing to give a summation of what we talked about tonight in reference to dues structure at any rate.
I think that's a great idea, Alan.
You know, at the top of the meeting, like we do with our normal business stuff at the top of
Right.
the meeting, just say, you know, we had a meeting, and these are some things coming down the pipe going forward. This is going to happen, blah, 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 blah. And,
Right.
and then take it from there.
Sounds good.
Are you going to do that at every meeting? Are you going to do that at every meeting, Ellen, or just this next one?
No, just this one right now. I mean, because by the time we have the next meeting, we should have our document.
Okay,
Right.
perfect.
One of the things we talked about at the July meeting with our club coaches is that we really should have a business meeting that talks about things like budgets and the business of running our club, and that if we had 10 to 15 minutes in front of every meeting, so let's say the business meeting started at 10 and ran to 10:15, it would give us a chance to vote in new members and have a new member ceremony, to take care of any club business, and to talk about, like, if we're going to have a contest, to get the personnel, the contest master, the chief judge, and assign all those roles or get volunteers for those roles. And I think it's a way we can improve how we run the club. And it would make it easier, and I think it would make it so more people feel like they're a part of it.
Right. We can do that. We can do that at the next meeting. We'll give Alan a few minutes to talk about our purpose and where we're going and what we're all about. Then we can run a quick meeting and cover some of these things during that business meeting.
Right.
Okay. And I'm jotting down minutes, and basically I'm just taking a few notes about what we're talking about, and I will send them out to all the attendees first, and if we verify that that's exactly what we talked about, I will send it out to the rest of the club then.
Okay.
So you're going to get an email from me tonight. It's just going to be very simple. Here was our agenda. This is what we resolved. This is going to be old business for the next meeting. This is going to be new business, that kind of thing. Nothing earth-shaking. But it will spell out dollar amounts when we start talking about dues. And I know that, Gail, both you and Alana were very into the idea of the new member ceremony, or what do they call, what did you, an installation?
Yeah, we'll handle that.
Okay. So you guys will come up with a process for that, and I'm thinking that would happen at the business meeting as well.
All right.
That would be cool. Okay. And you also mentioned the mentoring program. I love that idea. I think there should be speaking mentors. Maybe there should be technology mentors, all different kinds of mentoring. We've got a lot of strong members in our club who are good at a lot of different things.
Plus, that's a module in the CL.
I don't know. There is a module in the CL?
Yeah.
Yes,
mentoring.
on mentoring. So there is a checkbox on that.
So a person gets the opportunity to.
And do you have something that you want to share on the mentoring program, Gail, or did we hit the highlights? Or
Well, I think I know we all have to be mentors in order to pass one of the things in the book, right? So I think usually the sponsor, they have a place for a sponsor at the backside of the agreement. That could be the first person they go to for mentoring. If that person already has someone, then we would find someone else. But I think it's a matter of initially introducing the new member to a mentor right away. And then if the mentor needs support, they can call Alana or I, or there's certainly plenty of material on what it takes to be a mentor.
And while I agree with that, in some ways I disagree with that. I think some people have other strengths. Some people would be a much better mentor for a newer speaker than others.
Well, you know what? That's something that we could do at a meeting is talk about that, because I actually, it was featured at a TLI mentoring, and I was one of the speakers at the TLI last year about that, because there are some specific guidelines for it so that it's structured and not just willy-nilly. One thing I didn't know until I went to the TLI is that you only mentor a person for the first 3 speeches. I mean, you can maintain a relationship, of course, but technically after the first 3 speeches, you have completed your mentoring task.
You know, it's interesting that if we got a list of all of our members and a list of what they would feel comfortable mentoring in, it would be cool for every member to have a mentor. And then for every 3 months, maybe work with that mentor and then switch off to a different one. So maybe you learn about humor from Alan, and then maybe you're learning about videography from me, and then you're looking at color and image from Gail, and just, I think that could be very powerful.
Powerful and difficult to track. Who wants to track that? I don't.
It would be a spreadsheet, and it would be, okay, it's 3 months, every quarter we switch. I don't think it would be that big of a deal, but I'm just throwing that idea out there.
Well,
what it would also do is it would make it easier for people to consider taking various offices, because they'll have gone with, like, excuse me, the way interns do in medicine. They may have to work in ER for a while, they work in surgery for a while, they work in for a while. And then when they're done, they're free to go do what they want to do once they complete that period, but they've had a taste of everything, so that they make them a more well-rounded doctor. So when we say, you know, who wants to be a treasurer, people are like, ooh. But if they've been mentored in that area, then it won't be so mysterious and foreboding.
Well, as long as we can, I don't know, maybe Alana wants to take that on, but I think she's working on her education module, making sure everybody gets their books done and things like that.
And that's also
sorry.
Go ahead, Jillian.
No, I mean, I think the mentoring is a great idea, and I think it has a lot of value. But on the same time, I see this as that, you know, I know we're adding 4 new members, and of course I haven't been at the meetings for several months, so I do apologize. So maybe I missed something, but it feels still that we're such a new club, and we're still getting our feet, you know, sort of on solid ground, so to speak, that I think that what we don't want to do is take on too many things and we don't do anything really well. I mean, just learning technology and keeping abreast of social media and being able to speak, you know, in a very professional way online, to me, that seems like a lot, you know, and then adding a new mentoring project on top of everything else, again, that seems like that seems a bit much to me.
Well, actually, mentoring is just regular, common Toastmaster stuff that every club does, supposed to do. And there are members, even while the club and the direction we're going in is slightly new, the membership is not new. There's some people that have been in for some years and been doing this for some years. So
I can hardly hear you, Alan. Can you speak up just a little bit?
I said, so there are people in the club who are actually more seasoned enough to do it, even though the club may be new. The members are not new. And so it's just a matter of if someone is not comfortable with it, then they just wouldn't do it. That's all.
Okay.
And like I said, technically you're only supposed to mentor them for the first 3 speeches, so it's not an ongoing thing, on and on and on.
Well, I think we can try it, you know.
You could talk about it with the club and see what they think.
Yeah, we can send a sheet around. Anybody who wants to be a mentor, sign up for it now. If you want to be mentored, put your name on this list opposite whoever, and then take it from there, I guess.
Well, actually, it's required. I can hear Kathy Shine now. When a person comes in immediately, and once they join, someone should be assigned to be their mentor.
Okay.
The only reason you wouldn't if you just physically didn't have the numbers. But if you got somebody available, someone should step up to do that.
Well, we still have to know who wants to do that.
And we can put that up at the meeting. And if we have an experienced Toastmaster that happens to be new to our club, that might be a role that they would want to fill. One of the things that I want to do as president is I want to get everyone comfortable with taking some leadership role so that when it comes around for the next year's slate of officers that people have some experience and that the reason for not doing it is not because they don't know how and they're embarrassed.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I think that also giving everyone a little bit of responsibility in some area gives them a little more investment. They've got a reason to go to the club and that they've got some skin in the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think it keeps them more invested. I know it has for me.
Sounds good.
So that's my thought.
We'll address that at the meeting as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else we want to say about mentoring?
No, I think we've covered that.
So,
Okay.
do I understand correctly? We're gonna pass a spreadsheet around, a sign-up sheet for mentors and mentorees, and pass it at the meeting.
I think at the very least we should talk about it at the business meeting. So at the business meeting, I think the first thing that has to happen is that the existing, you either have to do one of two things. You have to either vote in the new members or vote in the club dues and then vote in the new members. If you vote the new members in before you vote in the club dues, there's a way of doing it. And it doesn't matter really which way you do, but if you vote them in and then give them a voice in dues, I think they'll feel better about it.
Oh. No, my question was about the mentor, not about the dues.
Well, we've got some very experienced people that are joining the club. Our division president, Irv Schneider, is joining the club.
He doesn't even own a cell phone.
Right, he doesn't. So it's going to be a challenge for him.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not quite. Maybe my question isn't clear. I'm just not quite clear. At the business meeting, are we going to be passing out, creating a spreadsheet, or are we going to be voting?
No, that was fine.
I don't think we're looking for it to be done at the next meeting. I think the discussion is going to start at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wasn't sure about.
What I don't want to do is make sure that something doesn't get rammed down anyone's throat. This is things that we're all doing deliberately. We have a very good reason for doing it, and that we all agree that it's a good idea, or at least by a majority.
Okay.
And if someone's working on their CL, this is something they got to do anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
The last item I have on the agenda is each members, it should be each members, educational goals and a process chart. For us to continue to be in the running for the Distinguished Club Award, we need to be able to crank out CCs and CLs. Actually, CCs and CLs. Now, I think every year Kathy Shine does at least one. I think this year she did 3, which is a series of 10 speeches for her CC.
She's not a member of our club, though.
No, she's not. But using her as an example, that you can do as many CCs or CLs as you want. And as you do them, you need to have certain leaders, like you have to beat the timer so many times, or be the grammarian or the Toastmaster, whatever. But those are all things that are, number one, are trackable, and number two, with a master club chart going through CCs and CLs, we can always find we could look at the chart and say, okay, so and so these people could be timers because they need this particular ticket punched.
Well, I think Alana is working on that chart, isn't she?
I think so. That would be under her responsibilities.
Right.
I want to make sure that she gets some help because I think Alana's got the toughest job in the club.
She does.
And for it to be done well, she's going to need some support, and I want to make sure she doesn't feel like she's out there having to do it alone.
All right.
So I love the idea. What would be even better somehow is to have an electronic chart that we can just update so that we don't have to store big pieces of cardboard. But I think we can figure that out, and eventually we will figure out a way to make our big television a scoreboard so that we can, when we're coming up with who wants to do what, they can be reminded of where they are and what they need to do.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
I'm going to be doing a triple crown, or full whatever.
Awesome.
And I don't know if you guys want to use all of them or some of them. That would be part of the deal. I don't think Love of Laughter needs any of that, but.
Well, we would love all of them, but the other thing I would like you to do is think about a speech asking us how we can help you. And if you let us know what educational things you need to do, if we're going to do some kind of a speak-a-thon, let's do one oriented that helps you with your Triple Crown efforts.
Yeah.
So would love to do that. And the fact that you declare it now, I think then the whole club gets behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So that's great. And maybe ask who else is doing it with you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, include me, and I'm 3 speeches away from completing a CC.
You're 2 speeches away from what?
3 speeches away from completing a CC.
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you.
I'm 3 speeches away from completing a CC.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. Good.
Well,
I'm 5 spaces away from my bronze.
Cool.
Good. Well, we need to get your bronze because that's a big one and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then after bronze is going to be silver. So I'm thinking if we ever could, maybe at our next virtual meeting, one by one, we could go after you've had a chance to think about it. And if you figure out where you're at and where you want to go and how much of it you want to do this year, and we can structure the club activities to make sure that happens, or make sure that you get your speeches and that you get them uploaded, because you could record a speech on Thursday and somebody could evaluate it on Saturday, and then you could still do something else on Saturday and get credit for that. So by virtue of our technology, we can have an accelerated schedule compared to other clubs.
Or visiting other clubs. I got my speech last night at Alice Chalmers. I got credit for that.
Sure.
Yep.
So, okay. And Elena's not here, so she really can't speak to that. So I'm going to just add that to the business for the meeting. But other than that, I think we had a good meeting. I want to thank each and every one of you for making the effort to attend. And it's run about 23 minutes past where I wanted it to. But I think we got some
quick
things.
Question, Dave.
Yeah.
We can just mention about open doors because I don't know what that is.
Okay. In Milwaukee, once a year, they have gotten a group of people who run or own historic buildings or unusual buildings to agree that for one weekend a year, they will open their doors to the public. And for some of them, maybe only part of them are open and part of them are closed. Just for that weekend, they're opening to the public.
And
the weekend that's happening happens to be the weekend of our September meeting.
Okay.
So what we thought is it might be fun to go to some of these places and make a speech there. And record a speech there. And there is 130-some buildings there on the Open Doors Milwaukee website. So if you wanted to go somewhere and record yourself with your cell phone, you certainly could. If you've ever wanted to be at St. Joseph's Basilica, you could do something there. You could do something at the Pabst Mansion. You could do something at the top of the First Wisconsin building. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
Do we need permission to do that, though, David?
I don't know. I think open to the public means open to the public. I don't think that, I mean, you probably wouldn't want to be in a busy area where your sound would get drowned out, but I think as long as you're not being disruptive and you're shooting a video with your cell phone, I think that'd be fine. Or if we ended up pairing up so somebody was taping somebody else, we could do that as well.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I'm not that
All
great by myself. And I've got a speech I'm working on for Toastmasters, just to get people involved in Toastmasters, let them know what Toastmasters is. And I'm developing a speech. I'm going to be doing that on August 8th for Lori. For Therese Miller, she's doing a demo meeting, and I'm doing a speech, but it's going to be on, why Toastmasters? Why did I become a Toastmaster? What benefits are there for you as a Toastmaster or whatever? That might be good to do for one of these open door things.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You might recruit some people right there on the spot.
That's right. I should have applications with me, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Gail, I was so proud of you when you had those folders to give out to people. That made me feel so good, and I was so impressed with that. So really good job.
I mean, you can't. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. It's just old training from when I was a Mary Kay consultant. You got to be ready for recruiting, and you have to have a folder with what you feel is essential, and it's welcoming, it's professional, and I've got some more things that I'm adding to them after going to Wendy's class on Saturday. So, it's all good.
Awesome. Well, and thank you, and a great presentation you gave at that meeting as well. Again, for all of us that were there, all the officers gave a presentation on their job and how they plan to put their signature on it for the next year, and was very impressed. Mm-hmm. And I know that our coaches were very impressed too.
Well, you let us know ahead of time that that's something we needed to prepare, which I appreciate. So I was ready for that.
Okay. And so, Jillian, yours will have to wait till September then, or you can do it virtually.
Do what virtually?
Give a presentation on your job position and what it entails for the year and how you plan to put your signature on it.
Okay.
Send it to Dave and we'll watch it at the next meeting.
Okay. I might do it in August.
Are you being pushed outside your comfort zone?
I might do it in September. I feel a little overwhelmed, but I'll see what I can do by next meeting. Promise.
Okay.
Do you have one of the leadership manuals?
Yeah. No, Dave, I haven't gotten the leadership manual.
Okay, I'll send you an electronic copy, but we've got a hard copy here for you as well.
Yeah, we got a bunch of copies.
Okay.
So that's all I did. I looked up Sergeant of Arms and just pretty much took it right out of there.
No, I read the electronic. I was hoping I could get a hard copy.
Okay. The electronic ones are actually available at Toastmasters International. You can do a Google search for it for Club Leadership Manual and then just download it as a PDF. Do you know how to log into Club Central?
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I have. I was hoping to get a hard copy. You have the hard copy, if I understand correctly.
Definitely.
Yes, we do.
Okay, then I'll just pick that up. Awesome.
Okay. Good. Is there anything else we want to do here on this meeting this evening?
The only other thing is we do need release forms.
For
photographing and then putting into, multimedia. Let's see.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more on what you're thinking.
Well, Wendy's got a form here. Let me see if I can find it.
But yeah, it should be just part of our regular tools to have that because we never know what we're going to do.
This is James Karen.
This is to post my likeness in photograph form on public club websites along with a member profile. It's a permission slip, so to speak.
And while that's true, I think technology has progressed, and if you could make the case that there's implied consent, it's probably not a bad idea, but there's a lot of posting on social media that happens without consent forms. And generally, if somebody is under an objection where they really, really don't want to be there, all they have to do is say, I don't want to be in that picture. So either the picture can be touched up so that they're not recognizable, or it can be removed.
So you think this is an unnecessary sheet of paper?
If we had one as part of the membership where you signed in consent, but I guess if you want to be a member of SpeakTV and you don't want to be on the Internet, then those two things kind of collide with each other. And so okay. I don't know how you could do one without doing the other.
Okay.
David?
Yes. Hey, Jim. How you doing? Welcome.
Hi. Sorry, I just got in late, but I got home late and whatnot. One of the things that, as I recall, Cream City did, and I don't know whether you were talking about having this all in one form, but we did have in our membership packet when people joined a separate sheet for allowing their image to be used and so forth, and you could have a checklist that would handle this, and most people, once they understand what it's for, will and there could be things where under certain circumstances they might want to say, in this exceptional case I don't want to appear, but other than that, but you could work something out on a separate sheet that they would also sign off on.
I hear what you're saying, Jim, but who's going to do all the administrative work to track that?
I don't know, and I don't. It was just a thought of having the separate sheets, but it could be a part of the same thing, all on that as a checkoff item. In ours, I think we did it because that way it can be explained, and I think I don't know if it's a VP of PR or something has a list of all the members and can quickly check. I think there is a one list for the club that indicates who all has approved.
A better way of doing it might be just to say that this is part of our normal activity.
That might be.
If there's an occasion that you don't want to be photographed or you don't want to be on the Internet, that's fine, but then it's your duty to make sure that the people who are running the event know that.
That would make great sense for SpeakTV, for your club. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's one less piece of paper than I have to worry about.
Good.
That's good to me.
Yeah, we could put something in
A statement to the effect that by joining SpeakTV, you're implying that you're okay with your image being used on the Internet. Mm-hmm. And if there's any particular thing that you don't want it being used on, it is up to you to let those people know, and we will try to abide by your wishes the best that we can.
Right.
And so I think that way we serve everyone to the extent. But you know what? To keep track of people who does or doesn't want to, and a club that posts stuff on the Internet regularly, that's what we do.
I think when
we may not be the club for them.
Yeah. Well, I think plus the fact that you're doing a lot of video stuff. In our case, mostly it's for just individual pictures, so that we know whom to use pictures of when we're putting stuff on or not. If there's anyone who doesn't, but I don't know if we have anyone who hasn't approved, so it may be
well, that could be included in the document that we're going to put together with the things that are expected of members in SpeakTV. There's some other items as well.
As we're talking about this, I like the idea of a document of member expectation, and it could be that what the club expects of a member and what the member expects of the club.
That's that document that Alan is going to talk about, right?
Right.
I'm thinking, though, that as a club, that's something that we should discuss. What do we want our members? Are there attendance requirements? Are there participation requirements?
Well, there's always that. You know, like I'm looking at, what is their promise to the club? Isn't that what you're saying?
But it's a two-way street.
All right. So as a Toastmaster, I promise to attend meetings regularly, to prepare all of my speech and leadership projects best of my ability, prepare and fulfill meeting assignments, provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. I mean, there's a whole list here, a Toastmaster promise that we could...
And we could use that and add in our own specialty stuff.
Right, right.
I love that idea. And I also love the club saying that as a member of our club, you can expect to learn about this, knowing, though, that your limitations will be what you yourself are willing to do. Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah, well, I can modify this. It's a lengthy. God bless you. It's lengthy, and it could be part of the new member induction.
Yes.
Awesome.
Wait.
And then on the other side is the mission of the club, Toastmasters International, the vision of the club, and the values of the club.
There you go.
I love it. Now all we have to do is find out what all that stuff is, and then we're on our way.
We're getting there.
But it's creating the framework, and that way people can look at the club and say yes or no, and know instantly. And that, yes, you want to come and see what we're about because this is what we believe, or no. And it also gives the club some framework on how to structure itself so we can fine-tune a little better.
Well, I'll talk with Alana, and we'll work out a new member induction for August. Not too lengthy, not too wordy, just right. And I can either pass, rather than having them state all the Toastmaster promise, I can have it all written out so they have a clear understanding of what their promise is, and then I just need the mission of the club.
The mission, as it stands, is on our webpage.
Okay.
Mission of SpeakTV Toastmasters is to promote the creation, evaluation, and distribution of visual media for effective communication.
Okay, and then
as it stands.
What? Toastmasters International empowers people to achieve their full potential and realize their dreams. Through our member clubs, people throughout the world can improve their communication, leadership skills, and find courage to change. That's kind of the vision of Toastmasters, sounds like. Not necessarily our club.
Well, I don't know, but I also think that sometime this year we're going to get one of our speeches translated. So that we can, maybe we could find a sister club in a different country that speaks another language and do some stuff with that. There's no limit to what we can do.
Yes, you're a specialty club, but you take things but the specialty seems to be that you use media and technology for even greater possibilities.
To go where no Toastmasters gone before.
Well, very few. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
We'll go further.
So I'll check with Alana. We'll put together a program, and then we'll modify it if we have to, but it'll be something for Saturday on the 8th.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be the perfect finished one. It can be version 1.
Right. We know that.
Okay, cool. Well, just don't want to put too much pressure on you to have the perfect ceremony.
It's never going to be perfect. Alana and I are doing it. Are you serious?
You guys are going to be awesome.
She wants to do something like the Academy Awards or something. I don't know what it is. Oscars or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll work on it.
Next meeting is August 18th.
Yes.
August 15th, and Alana and probably Gail are going to be running it. I'm not going to be here.
Right.
So, all right, anything else we need to cover in this particular meeting?
Oh, God, I hope not. What did you guys decide about the open door thing?
Well, I think it's going to be up for discussion at the meeting, and maybe that's going to be part of the business meeting.
That business meeting is getting longer and longer.
But these are all things that need to be talked about, and they need to be discussed.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Hey, I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out to be part of this, and you gave up some of your personal time to be here, so I, for one, am grateful that you did. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, David, for your leadership. We appreciate you, too.
I agree.
Very much.
All right. Thanks, David. I'll talk to people about how things are going more, and sorry I had to come in late, but...
hey, we're glad you're here, Jim.
Well, thank you.
That's okay. I would just also want to point out that as of August 1st, the Smedley Award, or the Smedley Challenge for Membership Award, we may have a possible 4 out of 5 already signed up. We're looking for dual members, so if you know a member who may have the slightest interest, by all means invite them to a meeting. And if we get more than one, that would be great.
I was at the CLI training on Saturday, and there was a woman who said she was coming and she was possibly bringing a friend. Now I don't know her name. I'll recognize her face, but that's 2 more people coming on Saturday. I think I gave her. I said we're near Rex Nord in Bayview.
All right. Well, we're going to come up with a video that will get people here.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That'll be helpful, and maybe I can leverage things out at the airport and direct people who are often traveling during the week but have Saturdays free and are interested in particularly in media-related stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, do you know anything, or are you any way associated about the IT manager opening at the airport?
No, I'm not aware of that, but I could try to ask around. I've got to ask about a couple other things.
If you could inquire for me, I'd be very grateful.
Okay.
You want that job, David?
Actually, my girlfriend's looking for a job. I love my job, and I love my boss. My boss is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I can ask. The airport management is kind of in a state of
flux.
Well, it might be flux or uncertainty because they still don't have a top person anymore. Really?
Yeah, as I recall, he came and left right away.
Right. And Barry Bateman is not, I don't think, is likely to be even thinking of coming back. And there's someone in county government or county agency or management who is, I guess, has the responsibility, but I don't know if he's even been trying to tackle things that are going on at the airport at this point. It's sort of
Jim, I would love to chat with you more on this, but we should do so offline. These nice people have been on for almost an hour and 20 minutes.
Right, exactly. We will chat separately later, or you can give me a buzz if you want. I'm home this evening. And,
okay. Probably won't happen.
I can stay on the line for a moment and give you my number so you can get that.
Okay, actually, that would be great. So let's do that. At this point, though, is there anything else for the meeting before I stop the recording?
No.
Okay.
All right.